Hey, do you know who the authors of your children's books are? Are you investigating that? Are you looking at their books? Are you reading their books? Are you spending time with your kids? Let me tell you, if you're not, you are going to be stunned at what you're about to discover because even in good schools, schools where you think they're not teaching this woke ideology or CRT or whatever that is, where they're this whole new generation of strangeness that is happening. Even if the teacher doesn't have an LGBTQ XYZ flag hanging in the classroom and is her or him self indoctrinating the children, the books are. And I was surprised because and this is before I get to the new book, I'm an author now. Yes, I'm so excited. And it's so important to me because uh, as a mother with children who are still in school, our youngest is 10, it just meant so much to me to give back and to do something for the children, right? And we have a lot of kids in our family, believe me, and I've had them all test out this book, The Amazing Club Awesome Sauce, and I'll tell you about it in a little bit, but they all loved it. But the thing is, it really struck me when my daughter had a book at school. It was about twins, and she reads a lot. She's like a prolific reader. She loves reading. She gets her books from school. She comes home. She reads every day. And I was wondering because she asked me some pretty bizarre questions. She asked me about, and this comes up quite often because we see it a lot in schools, are all white people racist? What? That's not true. Well, in this book, it alludes to that, a book that she was reading, or there's, issues dealing maybe with a little bit more than I would like her to read, like teenage issues, like a period or sex and issues like that are in books, and I'm thinking to myself like, wow, I really have to be like 5 steps ahead, right, when it comes to her schooling. And it's hard. It is hard. It's really hard on me because my husband can't read the books because he's blind. So he would have to like go on and get the audible version of it. And, I can't imagine my husband reading a chapter book for a preteen girl, but he does, he tries. He'll ask her about it. She'll read the first few pages to him if I'm not here. Or her brother, my son Alex, he was the one that caught the last book, and he's like, "This is just crazy. This is a woke author who, is trying to push this idea that if you're not, a person of color, then you're insensitive to people who are. Just because you're white, you're an insensitive person to minorities, and that is not true at all. It is a lie." And they are dividing our children from each other. They're dividing our children, they being the woke left, and are this strange new evolution of human that wants to basically, I believe, divide children from their parents and their churches and their community. They want it to all be about the state, whatever the state says. It sounds very Venezuelan, very Cuban, Marxist style doctrine, right? That's why I decided to do this great book here, The Amazing Club Awesome Sauce. It's joining the Amazing Club Awesome Sauce with Brave Books. And I found a way to talk to children about following the rules and why rules are important in a way that I think can lay the groundwork for the immigration issue, for our border crisis, our immigration crisis. And I did it in such a way and with the enormous help of Brave Books, in a way that children can understand it without feeling like we have to take them down those roads that we really don't want to do with our children. We want our children to feel safe and we want them to be happy. And I think this book does that. And I'll be back to talk to you about that in a minute. But first, Allegiance Gold, gold and silver. They allow you to protect what you have worked so hard for and give you back the control and the privacy that you need. And because reputation is very important to me, and I'm sure it is to you, the only company I recommend is Allegiance Gold. It is a partner with me, the Sara Carter Show, and it is a partner for you. My friends at Allegiance Gold can help you protect your IRA, your 401k with physical gold and silver, or have it delivered, listen to this, securely right to your door. They will educate you on the benefits of physical gold because they care and they want to build a long-term relationship with you. Allegiance Gold has the highest ratings in the industry. Listen to this, 5 stars with TrustLink, triple A rated with the Business Consumer Alliance, and they have an A plus from the Better Business Bureau. Get $5,000 of free silver on a qualifying purchase when you tell them that Sara sent you. So don't wait. Call or click today, 877-702-7272. That is 877-702-SARA, SARA, without the H. Or go to protectwithsara.com. We can't control the Biden administration, folks, but we can prepare. 877-702-7272. That is 877-702-SARA or protectwithsara.com. I am so excited to have Trent Talbot on because he is the founder of Brave Books. And like I said, he's an author, he's a physician, he's a true American patriot. And the reason why I was so excited about joining Brave Books, it was actually kind of, there was a third person in the middle kind of thing. It was Kash Patel. And Kash Patel is a friend of mine. And Zach, one of the guys that works over at Brave Books, he's part of the team, Zach Bell, he had contacted me and said, hey, would you like to have Kash Patel on the show? It's the book he wrote about, the president, the king. And it's a children's book based on President Trump. And I said, of course I would. I would love to have, Kash on the show. He's actually a friend of mine. And then I said, tell me a little bit more about Brave Books. And I started talking to Zach and I said, I really want to be a part of this. I want to do this. I want to write a book that has morals and values and teaches children about, gives them direction. And I always call it like a wall. It's a caring wall, but it gives kids kind of a place where they know they'll feel safe, and these are what these books are, in my opinion, are doing. So I'm so happy to have you on the show, Trent. I'm excited to talk to you about this. And I'm excited that these Brave Books are, reaching children all over the United States. I've been trying to talk you guys into making mine a Spanish in a Spanish version. I'm gonna work on it with you, but I'm so excited that there are children all across the country that have access to these amazing books that are not only beautifully illustrated, but give a moral message and actually deliver something to children that they can take with them that makes them a better human being. So thank you.
Yeah, well, super excited to be here and join you, and even more excited to have all of our subscribers and people across the country get your book, which turned out just absolutely incredible. It's such an important lesson on the importance of following rules and obeying, and can't wait to see that get out there.
Yeah, me too, because part of this book, and, we'll talk about, the other books in the series and how important they are and the amazing island that all these characters live on, Freedom Island, and what that means to us. But part of the reason why we came up, and it was a completely collaborative effort. Your team did so much work on this book. It is not, obviously, this is not just me. This is a team effort on this book. And it is, the illustrations by Ali are out of this world. My kids love it. My grandkids love it. Everybody at my house loves this book. But mainly it's because I think what I get from it is I'm able to tell the story about the border in such a way to children that the border crisis it's not too heavy for them. They don't even know what they're reading is about the border. What they're reading is about rules and following rules in order to make life better for everyone, not only the people in the clubhouse, our wonderful characters in the clubhouse like Kenny and Rebel and everybody else, but for those that want to join the clubhouse as a symbolism of our own nation, right? And we want to protect not only our children, but we want to protect the children that are being trafficked. And I just can't understand why that isn't a bipartisan message that should be delivered.
Yeah, I agree. The challenge is how do you convey that to kids? The complicated issue of the border. And when Zach came to me and he was like, "Hey, Sarah Carter's interested in doing a book on the border." And I was like, "Man, how do you talk to a kid about the border?" Like, but it came together so well, and the way that you and Eric, our head of creative, went about it was just brilliant, and really just making it about following the rules and showing the benefits of rules in that they maintain order and peace and stability.
I think Eric was brilliant. You know, we were sitting around just tossing ideas back and forth and how do we tell this and what does this mean? And of course, he would always send me like what his thoughts were and then we would throw thoughts back and forth, but really the idea of rules, it really solidifies the whole, I think, border problem, right? And we learn these basic things in kindergarten that, you know, we stand in line and we follow the rules. We don't run all over the classroom. We don't act crazy. You know, we have moments where we listen to other people and then moments where there's recess, right? But it was simple. It's like, wow, we really have to get simple again so people understand why these concepts even existed to begin with. There's a reason for rules. There's a reason that we as human beings have rules and have structure in our society. Is that the real reason why? And tell me a little bit about, because I never go into depth with Trent. I haven't had that chance yet. Tell me a little bit about the very beginning of Brave Books so that parents who are listening right now can understand where you came from and where everybody else came from with this.
Yeah. Well, I was a practicing ophthalmologist, been practicing for about 5 years, and decided to leave that career to start Brave Books. And as far as like why I'll do that, a lot of factors. One, I always had this just strong sense that we were not giving near enough attention to the shaping of our youth. And I'd always just been fascinated with just how much of our morality, our character is shaped by the time we're, 6, 7, 10 years old. And it just seems like we outsource that to we just don't put near enough importance on weight on that. But then about 5 years ago, I was saved. I was an atheist, I guess. I was lost, but 5 years ago, some things happened in my life that just sort of started to make me look and give Christianity a chance. And then finally, I opened up the Bible, specifically the New Testament, and started reading, and just had this. I was absolutely certain, had faith that what I was reading was true, and that Christ was who He said He was. And then everything in my life just rapidly changed for the better. I found my future wife and got married very shortly after. Very shortly after that, she got pregnant and we had our first daughter, Charlotte, in the summer of 2020. So peak COVID craziness. And when she was 2 to 3 weeks old, I'm holding her in my arms. I'm scrolling through Twitter, and I see the trailer for the film Cuties. And
nightmare.
And just
wow.
I couldn't help but think that she'd be that age before I knew it, and that's the type of stuff that she would grow up seeing. And then sort of like whenever you get a new car, you see that new car everywhere you go. Well, after Charlotte was born, and I noticed the culture's attempts to indoctrinate our kids, I was seeing it everywhere. Like Anti-Racist Baby was the #1 book on Amazon that same week. My best friend and business partner his daughter was gifted the latest Nancy Drew book, and there was a trans character. It was just like everywhere. And I just was just thinking of that there needs to be a brand of children's entertainment, books, everything that parents can just trust and that reinforces the values that we as Christian conservatives hold dear. And I didn't think that there was any brand like that. And the idea behind Brave Books and Freedom Island and all the characters started to come into my head. And as it started to take shape, sort of the the adventure of going down this path, the Brave Books path, started to become so intriguing that I couldn't stay an ophthalmologist any longer. I had to go down that path.
That is just such an incredible story. I mean, it makes me smile because it's like life is not always what we imagine it to be, right? We always think this is how things are going to go. This is how I'm planning my future. This is how my life is going to be directed. We think we're in control of the wheel, so to speak. And then you open up your heart to something. You open up your heart to Christ, or to your spirit, and then all of a sudden it's like you have all these amazing things that show up in your world, and I mean, you're an ophthalmologist. Every mom wants an ophthalmologist. Every mom's like, well, my son's an ophthalmologist. He's a doctor, but you're not only, that isn't only that part of you. I mean, you really are giving back to our nation. Really, you're like a warrior in the fight for our children, giving them back their innocence. Because I do feel that there are so many people out there that are just ripping their innocence away from them. I was thinking about that in church today because we're pre-taping this, so everyone who hears this is going to know that we were here. It's Palm Sunday, and I was sitting there in church listening to the story of Christ, and this Palm Sunday, the very beginning of the, that leads up to his crucifixion, but I was thinking about all of the people out there that are just enraged that we want to protect our children, that we're just like, no, you can't do that to our kids. No, I'm sorry. Sterilizing children is not the way to go. They cannot make a decision like that when they're 13 or 12 years old. No, I'm sorry. I don't want my child or anyone to ever watch the movie Cuties. And by the way, anyone who made that movie should probably be arrested because it's terrible, right? Do you ever feel that way? Do you ever just and now you have this whole new world. Okay, you know how much I love My Pillow. I talk about My Pillow all the time. And now I really do have a reason to tell you how grateful I am that I have My Pillows, My Pillow 2.0s, My Pillow slippers, My Pillow towels, everything in my house, because I have all the kids here this week. Because as we all know, spring breaks are divided. So I got all the young kids, my stepdaughter's kids. There are 4 of them, and my stepson, Luke, and my son, Alex, and our daughter, Annalise, everybody. It's just like a house full of kids and grownups. And how do I get them comfortable? How do they have enough pillows? How do we have enough slippers, enough everything, enough towels? Well, I go to mypillow.com because I love Mike Lindell. I love the American company. I love what they do. I love their products. And he's a real patriot. So right now you can save over 85% on all season slippers. I want you to think about that. 85%. You could get slippers for your family and just leave them at home. So when they come to visit, they've got their own slippers there. You can get My Pillows. You can get everything you need, even for your dogs. And my little dogs like to lay on the My Pillow mattress toppers, and they love laying on their own little doggy beds. So these won't last long. So hurry to shop at mypillow.com during the all-season slipper closeout sale. Yes, all-season slipper closeout sale, and they are going fast. Get the all-season slipper for only $25 with promo code Carter, CARTER, while supplies last. Also, check out My Pillow's new products, including the My Mattress Topper 2.0. That's the My Mattress Topper 2.0 and the My Pillow 2.0 at mypillow.com. Promo code Carter, CARTER. mypillow.com. Promo code Carter. That's mypillow.com. Promo code Carter. Our children need fighters. They need warriors out there to protect them from what's happening in this crazy world. And I want to make sure you are in the loop on what's happening with our schools in America. If you want to know, follow me here on YouTube, Rumble, or wherever you get your podcasts. Well, what made you think of reaching out to conservative, conservative pseudo celebrities or people that were out there in the conservative world, or lawmakers, politicians, newsmakers? What made you do that?
I was leaving my career as an ophthalmologist, and the main thing I wanted to avoid was to put my heart and soul into something and have nobody hear or care. And so I wanted to I wanted to find people who had platforms that could help get the word out about what we were doing. And yeah, we started off, taking on some topics that were very much in our culture, and it still are. Our first topic was gender reality, and so we found
Right.
Ashley St. Clair, who's very passionate about that topic, and she wrote our first book, and she connected us with Elizabeth Johnston and Jack.
Tell everyone what that book was. It's
Elephants Are Not
Elephant.
Birds. Yeah.
Yep, Elephants Are Not Birds. That actually is one of my daughter's favorite books. She loves that book too. But she says mine's the best, but it's just, because I'm her mom. But that was one of her favorite ones when she read through the whole series. Like, she has them in her room on her bookshelf. But she was like, and she kind of knew, because she's 10, she kind of got it, like, without even the book even saying it, Elephants are not birds. She's like, Mommy, it's just like when people try to tell little boys or little girls that they're not boys or girls. And I was like,
Yeah.
wow,
Well, that's
there you go.
That's how learning happens. It has to sort of click for kids, instead of just telling them and hope that they'll believe you. They have to realize it for themselves in order for them to truly learn it. And art, books in particular, are so effective at teaching values and lessons like these, because it's an active form. It's a way to activate the mind and get their wheels turning, as opposed to screen. It's a much more of a passive state. Everybody knows the
Right.
phrase "vegging out." Well, that's sort of what you do. You lay back and just sort of get in this mindless trance. But with a book, like a picture book, there's a lot of stuff that happens, but in your book, there's only 16 spreads. There's only, and so
Right.
the child is imagining what's happening in between those spreads, why the characters are doing what they're doing, and it forces them to get in the characters' heads and to really think about some of these things. And yeah, so Elephants Are Not Birds, that was our first book, and for your viewers that haven't heard of Brave Books or Freedom Island, it's a book of the month club in which you subscribe. You start from the beginning, and Elephants Not Birds will be the first book that you get, and then every single month after that, you get a new book that teaches a different Christian conservative value, and our vision is for the next 50 to 100 years, when Christian conservative parents, when their kids hit 3 to 5 years old, they subscribe and they get a new book every month that teaches a different value. And as the children age, the topics age as well, and the maturity, and eventually, probably when they hit 9 or 10, it'll switch over to chapter books, and then it'll do chapter books, then young adult novels and things like that. And we want to do animated TV, animated movies, theme park, maybe the whole deal. We want to create that brand that parents can just absolutely trust.
That's so great, because that's one of the questions that I have for you is like, can we take these or you take them and then transfer them into Christian entertainment or moral valued entertainment, right? Judeo-Christian entertainment. I mean, there are a lot of people out there that have these same values, right? Where we're sitting back and we're just saying, wait a minute, why is the left, in Hollywood so interested in taking our child's childhood away from them? Like, why are they so focused on exposing our children to things they shouldn't even be thinking about? I mean, we're kids only for a small period of our life. It's the most innocent, and hopefully, God willing, there are children born into bad situations, but for the most part, we hope our children grow up having beautiful memories and not having to struggle with all of this craziness that our world's throwing at them. I mean, why do you think that is? Why do you think that the left is doing that, Trent? Why do we see this so much more now than we have in the past?
Well, there's a lot going on there. There's a lot of reasons. Some practical reasons that are easy to imagine is that they don't have very many kids, but the right does, and so if they're gonna if they're going to continue to exist, they have to indoctrinate our kids from us. And as far as your point about why is there such an emphasis to expose them to sexual type content?
Right.
The sexual content does something interesting. It creates a separation from the parent. So once children start to have sexual type thoughts, there becomes a rift, a divide between parent and child, because that child starts to become sexual, and then they start to keep secrets and things like that, and so I think that's why it's done, is because it does create a separation of the parent and child, and then it makes the child more easily manipulated by the content in our culture or our schools. And then it creates the parent to have less of an impact on the child's, moral makeup and ideology.
I have to agree with you on that. Absolutely. I saw a small snippet of a poster that was hanging in a school at one point in time. I wish I could remember. I think it was in the Midwest, at some school in the Midwest, where it said, if your mom and dad don't accept you as you are, like the teacher said, I'm your teacher, let me be your mama bear. And it was like an LGBTQ, poster in the school, in a public school. And I'm thinking to myself, I would be infuriated if my child was in a classroom and their teacher was asking them to let her be the mama bear, And I think that's why I was so drawn to what you're doing and to the great work that you're doing. Our children mean so much to us. I mean, I was sitting in church and I was looking at all the kids and their families and, thinking like, wow, we still have hope in America. You know what I'm saying? There's still, of course, I want to look at the glasses half full, not half empty. And I think like, you're a young man, you're a young father, and, you have like this brilliant dream that you made come true. And it's just such an astonishing accomplishment in a time where we're up against so many crazy bad people. It's crazy. I mean, but can we take what you're doing here? Can you take what you're doing here and then turn that into cartoons, turn that into, I don't know, movies, or I don't know, is there any kind of entertainment park that you can make like Freedom Island, like, a part of the entertainment park? I don't know. Is there any kind of good Christian entertainment park? Maybe wherever they have that ark, Noah's Ark, the big one, you can add Freedom Island. I don't know, but do something for our kids, right? Did I just give you an idea? Are you going to start a new project, right? I don't know. Yeah, maybe. I don't know.
When Freedom Island first started to come to my head, I mean, it's instantaneously. If you've ever seen a map of Freedom Island, I'm seeing if I have one around. Like,
shit. Well, I might have.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah. So once I saw Allie's first drawings of Freedom Island, I was like, that has to be a theme park one day. So
you did. That's so great. It is. That's what I thought when I saw it too. I was like, it has to be a theme park. And it's so beautiful. Oh, and there was one more thing, because I know, I mean, I could talk to you forever, but I do want to give you a chance to explain, because I don't think parents realize how interactive the books are. And for example, in my book, I'm going to hold it right here on this page, is the Brave Challenge. And what makes these so awesome, and we were talking a little bit about how parents who are homeschooling, or people who really spend a lot of time with their kids, which I hope is everyone out there, because they're only kids for a little bit, but you can work with your children in the back on our workbooks, right? And I love it. I love the little cartoon character of me. Like I'm just sitting there, like teaching your children about, following the rules. So I just love that. Talk a little bit about that, because I think that added an extra element to your book series that I'm now a part of, that I think was just awesome.
Yeah. Well, like awesome. What we were talking about with the sexualization of our children, how it separates parent from child. What we're trying to do is just the exact opposite. We're trying to bring families together, and just one of the main ways that families come together when you have young kids, it's with a book. With TV, everybody's separate. They're all looking, but nobody's talking. But with a book, everybody's attention is on the same thing. It's on the pages, and it's just fun and sweet memories. But we didn't want to stop there with just a story and hope that whatever lesson or value we're trying to communicate is that it sort of sticks into the kids' sort of subconscious. We wanted to bring families together and start a conversation about whatever lesson or value that's being covered with that book. So with your book, it's on the importance of following rules. We have the sweet story that lays it out, but then after we have games and discussion questions that basically starts a conversation on that topic, and then our hope is that over time, you do this enough with your family, and you cover enough important topics that eventually your child will look to you whenever they get to that age, or whenever they start to ask a lot of, well, kids are always asking questions, but we want to put the parent as the resource that kids turn to for answers about life, not culture, not
Right.
teachers, the parent. And so, but in order to do that, in order for that to happen, it takes work, and it takes repetition of these important conversations. And so that's what we're trying to do with that.
Absolutely. I think that's the truth. Nobody is ever going to love a child more than the parent. When you're raising them, I mean, you do anything for your child. You throw yourself in front of a bus for your kid. You don't even care. You die for your children because, well, most parents should. I mean, they should want to love their child that much. And I just think that I'm so grateful, Trent. Thank you for making me a part of this amazing book and this amazing family of Brave Books. And I know, parents out there, I mean, I don't even feel like I have to sell it. Do you know what I'm saying? I just think parents are craving this. They are just craving something that is just decent and wholesome and fun and allows their child to get closer to them. Where can parents go to get the book, Trent, and get their
Yeah,
orders going?
bravebooks.com. If you're not a subscriber, just go to bravebooks.com, subscribe. When you do, you'll get Sarah's book for free. And then you also get the very first book of the Freedom Island series. And then the hope is that these books will be part of your family as your kids age, and they grow up in this world with these characters, and it helps shape their morality so that they can stand strong in a crazy world.
Wow, thank you so much. I really appreciate it, Trent. Thank you for taking your Sunday to be with me. I have to fly to New York City to continue working. There's a lot of developments there in New York this week, and I just appreciate you taking a little break from your busy schedule with your family to do this and reach all of our audience, because we've got a great audience out there that is going to really appreciate this book. Hey, everyone, remember, go to bravebooks.com, bravebooks.com. You want to get this order, you will get my book for free. When you order a subscription to bravebooks.com, your kids are going to love these books. They're amazing. And they will be able to join the amazing club, Awesome Sauce with me. You know how much I love having you on the show. You know how much it means to me. It's been great being with you. So I want you to follow me on Truth at Sara Carter Official, on Twitter at Sara Carter DC, and on Instagram at scarterdc. God bless you. God bless our great nation, and God bless the great state of Texas.